Hello, and you're here with data science teacher Brandyn. We're going to go over the lmplot in seaborn today. So the linear model plot in seaborn. Can do some really cool things with this. This is a facet level plot, and so what this means is we can use the facet grid. It's basically based on top of the facet grid. So it's a little bit easy to do some interesting sectioning by categories. We'll see how to do that today. So standard seaborn syntax, sns.lmplot, data equals df, x and y, right? So here's our x variable, which is going to, we could consider predicting the y variable. Really, we're looking for correlation here. So x and y, that's our standard kind of regression plot. So that'd be reg plot in seaborn as well. This is a facet level grid, so we can do a few extra things with this. Okay, so we can start to do things like columns. So again, we're doing X and Y, math and writing scores, so our two numeric variables. And column is our category variable, so female and male. And we can see I'm also doing a height and aspect. So height is the height up and down. Here's an aspect is going to be how many times the height. Do you want this? I just felt it looked a little bit better, a little bit more wider. So I did 1.5. If I do 2, it would be a size of 8 for everyone. So it would be twice as wide as it is high. I really play around with it and find out what works well for you. I just felt it worked a little bit better. And so column here, gender, just to make sure these column titles don't get bunched up, we have that space, and we can see column female and male are the two on the side. So we can see that the regression looks pretty similar between those two. So here we can go a little bit deeper, and we can do gender on the columns across the columns and row across lunch. So here we have lunch standard, gender female, lunch standard, gender. So this is the lunch standard and then free reduced down here. And we can start to see the patterns. We can start to see a little bit. But I think taking it up even another notch using the hue argument, this is the amazing thing about facet grids. We can really separate now by 3 grids. We can 3 levels of categories and really see for some from high level or detailed patterns. I think kind of one interesting. This looks a little bit busy here. We can actually see when we add in the hue by test preparation. So we can see, lots of times it didn't make a difference. When we look over here in the male column, it doesn't really seem like it made a difference for the different types of lunch. What we can see over here in the female column, the completed, it has a very different kind of slope than the other slope of the linear relationship here. That could be very interesting to inspect. Why would that be different in this one little situation? So maybe there's something that we would want to emphasize about the higher range for this group where they start to converge. And this is something that you really couldn't see in other, but it's still a little bit hard to see. There's kind of a lot going on. So we can control the lower level line plot, the lower level scatter plot that makes up the reg plot, which makes up the features in each one of these graphics. And so what we can do here, so we do line key WS, so keywords. Here I'm putting in a dictionary, so, and then 6. So I'm going to do line width of 6. There's going to be a line width of 6 across the line of the linear model plot. And then the scatter, so the underlying scatter plot, I'm going to turn down the alpha, so 0.45. I'm going to turn up the size just to get kind of a funky effect here. And turn it down. You really get a sense of better where the data actually is this way. But you can start to see it little emphasizes more the slope being different, and even more so in this one that they're actually overlapping here. And I don't think there's any other plot here that they're actually touching. So it is worthwhile to go through this extra steps and actually add this extra level of detail so you can see this. This is a slight difference. This is something that would be very hard to notice otherwise, and it might not be valuable, but it might be worth expecting because it might be valuable. But this is something that would be very hard to see because it is quite detailed, going down to 3 levels of categories. There's not too much else you can do except for the facet grid. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.